Hey Internet, Harris here. So unless your area for self-isolation has been under a rock, then you probably know that something's happening to the stock market. It's way down, people are freaking out and selling everything, and then other people see everybody selling everything and then they sell everything and the whole thing just crumbles down, and then 70% of the workforce is not at work, and so there's a lot of things not going well for the stock market. And if we look at something like the S&P 500, which is a pretty good indicator for the stock market as a whole, and you've probably heard of it, you can see that in the past month, it's just red, 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 downhill, down 30%, not good. 6 months, you can see a steady incline, up 13%, and then downhill. 1 year, you can see that even more. That's really bad. A lot of people are losing a lot of money right now. A lot of people are freaking out. But the good news is that basically this just means that the whole stock market is at a tremendous discount. It's like going to a store and everything is 30% off. But it's not just buying food at the grocery store, it's buying an investment for 30% off. And that's a phenomenal time to start investing. So if you are a student or anybody who doesn't really invest right now or doesn't have a lot invested, this video is for you. I know I have a lot of friends who don't even know where to begin for investment because it is kind of confusing. And I made a video recently about investment tips, and I talked about different ways to get started with a portfolio, whether you're using Charles Schwab like I use most of the time, or Robinhood, or any of these services. Those are all great. But if you really just want to capitalize and to really just start going, and you probably don't have thousands of dollars laying around to throw into a market, into an index fund or a mutual fund or anything like that with your own portfolio or retirement fund, I have a solution that I think is going to be really good for a lot of people out there right now as the market is so low. And this is actually something I've been using for about 2 months now, and I really love it. So this service is called Acorns, and I'm sure you've seen ads for it. I have seen so many ads for it, and it took me months before I actually clicked on it and started using it. And I actually really love it. I think it's gonna be a great tool for you. So the whole idea of Acorns is that it takes away any of your requirements for investing. So when you set this up, you link your bank account and you make your first deposit, and then you set up the type of account you want. So for me, I set it up as a retirement fund. I want to take this money out when I'm 65 and just have that money for retirement. But you can make it more temporary if you want it to just be for a year. Maybe you're saving up for something. Maybe it's just a college fund for the next 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years. You can do that. You can choose really your duration, your goal time for this investment. Again, for me, this is kind of a retirement thing because I won't need this money right now. I want to save for the long term. And after all, that is the best way to invest. That is the way to kind of ensure the best gains and the best profit. Anyway, so once you have your time frame selected, the second part is choosing how aggressive you want it to be. So for me, I'm someone who is an aggressive investor. I don't want to invest in bonds or CDs or anything like this. I want to be, I like Apple, I like Facebook and Amazon and all these other stocks for investing. So what Acorns does is it gives you different options. And so for me, I did the most aggressive one. And this means that it'll have mostly these big stocks, these Apples and Amazons and these ones that just have been growing and growing and growing for years, and they're really reliable. But then it'll also have more government stuff. It'll have more index funds and mutual funds, basically any type of investment that is more secure, slower growth, but safer. And it'll combine that to give you a really well-balanced option. But of course, you can go more on that bond side or more on the stock side and do what's best for you and what you're most comfortable with. And what's great about Acorns is that there's a lot of different options for you to get started. If you want to just go ahead and throw in $500 right now, you can do that. And again, right now, the stock market might still go down another 5, 10, maybe even 15%. But ultimately, in 1 year, in 2 years, and 3 years, it is absolutely going to be back up that 30% and more. So basically, again, you're looking at the stock market as if it's 30% off. Now, could I be wrong? I absolutely could be wrong, but this has never happened where it hasn't recovered and improved in history. So if we're just looking at history as a lesson for the stock market, it has never not gone back up and recovered. Ever. So you can see that right now I have about $465 in here. And the way I have it set up is that I have it at $10 a day every day. So let's just make sure that $10 every day I'm just putting it in there and it's investing into the portfolio that, again, I chose the aggressive one. so that it's getting the market at a bunch of different times. It bought $10 of stock when the market was really high. It's buying $10 of stock when the market's really low. And ultimately, this is going to give me a really great portfolio that's going to earn very well in the long term. But then there's also the roundup feature, which basically just is a self-imposed tax. So you've probably seen the commercials for this. So you see I have a flight fee. So my Delta flight fee was $11.20. So we rounded that up to the next dollar and invested 80 cents. So again, it's just a self-imposed tax. It's pretty simple. Again, a flight, $248.80, invested 20 cents. McDonald's, again, you can see just like that. So once it is hooked up to your debit card or your credit card, it will just invest up to the nearest dollar. You can turn this off. It's honestly not a huge source, but it is kind of a way of imposing a tax on your own purchases to, if you don't want to spend so much, this will give you a reason not to. Because it's going to take a little bit more money each time. But this isn't a bad way to just throw some cents in there, and over many years, if you're doing it that route, it'll add up quickly. But my favorite feature of this is actually earned found money. So if you look at this, there are over 200 awesome companies, and you recognize every single brand. There's Banana Republic, there's Airbnb, Groupon, Apple, Nike, eBay, Uber Eats, all these type of services and brands and restaurants. So for instance, Apple Retail. So it says 1.5% invested. So last week I ordered a new iPad, the new iPad that's coming out. And if I click on this and I click Shop Now, it'll take me to the Apple Store app on my phone. And then anything I buy on here, it'll take 1.5% of that order, invest it into Apple for my account. That's incredible. It's just, it's only 1.5%, sure, but for this iPad purchase that was, I don't know, maybe $1,000 after tax, that's about $15, but in a few months it'll be $20, and a couple years that could be $30. And again, it's just because of shopping what I was already going to buy. Again, today Nike's got like 25% off their site-wide store, so I ordered a few pairs of running shoes to stock up. Nike has a 5% investment option. So when I click Shop Now, it takes me to the Nike website. And then I ordered a few pair of running shoes, and it was $300, which is a lot, but it's going to last me like a year of running. But then it'll invest $15, again, 5%, into my Acorns account just for doing the shopping I was already doing. And then this money is going to be invested, and in a few months, hopefully that's going to be worth $20, and then $30 in a few years down the road. So it's an easy way to just continue what I'm already doing in my life, but then start my stock market growth for me towards retirement, but also just you can have it towards next year or Christmas or whatever you want. So this video is mostly about Acorns, and that's really set up for a way to almost like subconsciously invest money. You can choose exactly how much you want it to. You can set it up for $5 a month or $5 a day or $5 a week. You can do the roundups to add every purchase that will go up to the nearest dollar, and you can also change the settings with that. And then you can also just add whatever you want into here. So if you have $100 in your bank account and you want to start investing, right now the market's 30% off. This is a great way to do it. That's a little bit safer than maybe trying to choose the best stock such as Apple. And also because this will automatically take in money periodically, it's a really good way of not trying to time the market, meaning that you're buying when the market's high, when it's low, and it evens out to give you hopefully the best return possible. If you do sign up for Acorns, I think we both get $5, so definitely use the link in the description. It'll help me out, and I definitely will get a bonus if enough people sign up and make your first deposit by March 31st. So it'd be amazing if you could sign up using my code and link. And this does cost like $1 a month or $2 depending on your plan, which I know some people are going to like scoff at. It's like, oh, I don't even have that much money to invest to begin with, and then $2 a month. I mean, think about all the things you're already buying in your life that you don't need. This is $2 a month, like a fifth or a tenth of Netflix, depending on your plan. And while it might not pay for itself yet, like this first month, you might not make $2 in gains, although you might. But over the long term, it will pay itself off because the market is going to grow more than just $2 worth of investments per month. And again, I've already made $15 from Apple and $15 from Nike, spending like I normally would when I find something I want to buy and using those investment tools. So you can go through Acorns or Schwab or Webull. There's definitely a lot of different brokerage accounts you can use, but I think Acorns is the simplest. You just link up your debit card and you start investing, and you can choose how much you want to invest, how often, and how aggressively, and you just kind of let it do its work. Don't check back too often because that'll drive you crazy. But then you just reap the gains of the stock market that's 30% off right now. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.